I want to thank all of you for being here today in front of the Appropriations Subcommittee, VA Milcon. I want to thank you for your service to this country's veterans. You have difficult jobs, and I appreciate the work that you do. In many ways, both the VHA and VBA have made some significant progress over the past year. But I'm sure that you would agree that we have much more work to do. The intent of the Choice Act was to give veterans more opportunities to seek timely care in their communities. But as we all know, in practice, simply has not happened. Some of the fault lies with the VA. Some of the fault lies with us in Congress. And at least in my opinion, much of that fault, which we have to bear the responsibility for, bears with a third-party administrator, or at least it does in the state of Montana. Veterans in places like Butte continue to be frustrated by time and hassle it takes to schedule appointments through Choice, and that is directly related to the third-party administrator. Community providers in places like Billings continue to be frustrated by the time it takes to get authorization and reimbursement for care. As a result, the largest healthcare provider in my state of Montana will not participate in Choice, and that's because of that third-party administrator. VA employees continue to be frustrated because they have to go through a middleman, the third-party administrator, to connect veterans with the care that they need. And I've heard these frustrations directly from Montanans, and their frustration, along with mine, is not getting less, it's getting greater each day. Dr. Shulkin, we've had conversations about this. They are the same conversations that I've had with Secretary McDonald multiple times over the past weeks. Yes, fixing the VA, making sure that we provide the benefits to our veterans does require some resources. And that's what we're here today to discuss, your budget. But it also requires using all the tools that are available to you in a more effective way. If you don't have the tools that you need, we need to know about it. Because if you're not effectively using the tools you have because of a problem that we've created, we need to fix it. Today, I want to hear more about the budgetary needs of the VA, but I also want to hear about how the VA is going to make more effective use of the tools that you already have at your disposal. Again, I want to thank all of you for being here today. I look forward to this discussion, and Mr. Chairman, appreciate your work on this committee. Thank you. Dr. Shulkin, in my opening remarks, I talked about the problems veterans are having in Montana. Could I get your personal assurance that you will directly engage in the efforts to address the frustrations with veterans in my state with the Choice program, specifically with HealthNet?
Yes, Senator. In fact, we have committed to having a team out to Montana. That is going to be the week of March 28th, where Dr. Yehaya and his team will personally be there to meet with HealthNet and with your staff as well as the staff at VA to work this out.
Good. I want to follow up with you that, but we can do that offline as we move forward. So while pushing to make changes, I also fully recognize that Congress needs to do what we need to do to allow you to do your job. Today, with a number of my colleagues, including Senator Udall and Bennett and Blumenthal, I'm introducing legislation called the Improving Veterans Access to Care in the Community Act. This bill includes a number of provisions, many drafted in consultation with the VA and other stakeholders that will greatly empower your efforts to deliver a more timely and quality care for our veterans. By including provider agreement language sought by the VA, this legislation would ensure that you're better able to provide care in the community for veterans in a timely manner. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely would agree with that.
Okay. The VA has previously said that a failure to address this issue would have enormous negative impacts on veterans' access to health care. Huge issue.
We're seeing this every day, Senator.
So you would agree with that statement, too?
I would.
Okay, by providing spending flexibility across community care programs, this legislation would provide the VA with the ability it needs in places like Montana and other areas, by the way, to steer veterans to care in the manner that makes the most sense for that veteran. Would you agree it would do that?
It absolutely will. It will help simplify the program for veterans, no question about it.
Okay, and by consolidating the VA's multiple community care programs, and there are many, into one single program with a consistent and streamlined eligibility criteria and administrative rules, that would reduce the confusion for veterans and VA employees alike. Was that correct?
Yes, 7 programs at least into one would be very helpful,
Okay. And streamlined,
streamlined.
smooth, no red tape, or
Exactly.
minimal, let's put it that way.
Yep.
And it would greatly reduce administrative burdens for the community providers too then.
Provider agreements and the streamlined funding would make it easier for community providers by a huge amount, Senator.
So you would anticipate that it would make this choice program better for the providers and thus entice them to come along board.
And I would hope your largest provider in Montana would consider coming back.
Boy, so do I. Together, all of these things would ensure that the VA is better able to utilize the tools at its disposal to better meet the healthcare needs of veterans. You would agree on that also?
I would.
Okay, so we're going to be working with Chairman Isaacson and others, hopefully in this room, so that we could get this to the president as quickly as possible.